All right. Hello, everybody. Claude Diamond here. And something just came up. You can tell by my background. It's about questions. One of my students came to me, heard from another guru that he should always answer a question with a question. And this is a technique in sales to get information. The gut system, my system, it's about getting the prospect emotionally involved. But the guru, the person he was talking to, left out the most important part in my opinion. If you're just asking questions to a prospect, question after question, it gets they feel like they're being interrogated, cross-examined, like a cop pulled them over or something like that. It can, for some people, it can even mean like an invasion of privacy. So how do we fix that? Now, asking questions is really good. It goes back to Socrates. Students would ask him questions, and then he'd reply with a question to get them involved in the dialogue. He felt that the teaching moment was greatly enhanced by participation. In sales, we do want this a rule I teach called the 75-25 rule. You want to get the prospect talking more than the salesperson, okay? You want to keep them emotionally involved. Most people, you've heard me say on other videos, they give these intellectual style presentations with a lot of facts and figures. Well, that's just really boring in some cases, okay? Nobody woke up this morning and said, gee, I hope this salesman locks me in a room and we talk for 45 minutes about life insurance. Nobody woke up that way, okay? They did wake up with a need, a greed, a problem. And how do we find that out? It's almost like you're the doctor or the psychiatrist and you got a patient on the couch. How do you get that information? You have to blend it with three things: stroking, nurturing, and empathy. The stroke is a compliment. So when someone asks you a question, gee, Claude, how do I do land investing? And the amateur salesperson who thinks they need to reply with a question, well, good question, why'd you bring that up? uh, you, and that gets abrasive after a while. And so what we teach people to do is use the stroke, a sincere compliment, a nurture, which is an emotional reaction or a story intertwined that brings out emotion, or empathy. What are they thinking or feeling? One of the techniques I use with this is a stop and go sometimes, where you start to, I think I'll do a video on that. I'll make a little note on this, stop and go. That's a really good technique. I didn't want to make this the world's longest video. I will be on again tonight, by the way, Beer with Claude, or with some of my friends from Louisiana Beer Review at 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific, right here. It'll be live on YouTube. So feel free to join us and compliment and bring your favorite adult beverage. So when someone says a question, you say, it's funny you brought that up. I was just talking with somebody about. Now, you must have asked that for a reason. Could you share that with me? I'd like to know more about why you're interested in land investing. Have you ever done land investing before? I really, you've done your homework. I appreciate that. Land investing is I love talking about that. Is there any particular aspect that you want financing, contracts? Where is your interest most lie? How many deals have you done with land? Okay, you got to go into it and turn it around with a stroke, a compliment. Good question. Glad you brought that up. Very interesting. Then you might want to also nurture them along. It's really funny. I was just talking with somebody the other day, and they've been investing in land for 20 years, and they are retired and debt-free, and it's just a wonderful way to get into business, to have that financial freedom and things like that. Have you done any deals like that? And so you go into a story and then you turn the question around. Why? Because, and this is real important, it goes to the 75-25 rule. And it's in my book. The mentor teaches can you see it? There it is. The mentor teaches the gut sales method. These are little one-page rules. A lot of them are really funny. The Godfather close, never get into a pissing match with a skunk. Never buy. People buy from people they like and trust. The Mr. Rogers close. The $1 million rule, and very important rule. The phone is not a cactus. Okay, got me there petting a cactus. Not really. If you want this book, send me a text. My number's down here, 619-206-5960. Say something nice to me like, Claude, I love your videos, or you're having a good hair day. And I'm in a good mood today. I've had a great week. I'm going to talk about that tonight on Beer with Claude, but I'll send you the book. It'll be my gift to you guys because I always appreciate your feedback. And in fact, that's our deal. You send me a text and I'll send you the book so you don't have to go on Amazon to buy it. And the only thing I'm going to ask in return is maybe a little feedback. What do you think? What's your favorite rule? Because I'm working on another edition of that book, part two. But when someone asks you a question, your goal is not to be cross-examined. And I think it's annoying if a salesman's trained to answer a question with a question, and then you go back and, well, why'd you ask that? Why is that important? And after a while, the prospect's going to get tired of that. It's going to get abrasive, is the word I use. So you have to structure your reply in such a way that it's complimentary to them, and it keeps them emotionally involved in the conversation. Why? Because we need information. What is our prospects' needs and greeds? You got to find their pain, their need, their greed. Why are they talking? Why are they interested in your product or service? Especially for those of you, my friends in real estate. You've got to find 3 to 6 needs and greeds. And, that's what makes them tick. And then you got to give them a score. I always talk about the EQ score. I'll do another video on the EQ some other day. I'm writing this down so I remember. Same thing for you. Have you, as the salesperson, have you ever been machine gun questions from the prospect? Okay. They just keep asking you questions and questions, and then they dismiss you. Oh, it's great information. Thank you. I'll think about it. Goodbye. Click. You didn't make any money. You didn't make a sale. So you have to keep the prospect entwined emotionally in the conversation. This is what I call charismatic selling. So when they ask a question, turn it around. You must have brought that up for a reason. A good question. You've obviously done your homework or research. Or what aspect? I'm not sure if I understand that question. Could you rephrase it or be more specific? You want the prospect speaking more than the salesperson. You get the information, you qualify them, you find out the time frame, you find out their needs and greeds, also known as their motivation. You find out, do they want to do this right now or 6 months from now? You want to find out, do they have the authority, this is big, to make a commitment? Okay. Are they the decision maker, in other words? And finally, you want to know if they have the character to keep a commitment. When you have these kind of conversations with people, and I go back to my rule of 5 that I talk about a lot. Watch some of my old videos. The rule of 5 is basically, can you speak to 5 people a day? And if you can have that consistent behavior and routine, you will see magic happen in your business all the time, because that is putting the forces of the universe in your favor. But my point was, even if you speak to 5 people today and you have 5 pleasant conversations, nice mutual admiration kind of conversations, nothing heavy duty, and even if you make offers to all these, nothing happens. You didn't get a commitment, you didn't get a sale. How does that leave you feeling? How does that leave your ego state? Okay. The trouble with business and why the failure rate is so high is because people get the S word, get kicked out of them. Okay. They get a kick, they get the rejection, they get the frustration, they're not in control. How long can you do that? Speaking with prospects and get all that rejection? You can't. It's got to be fun on the way to the bank. So you've got to learn the different psychological aspects of the gut sales method. It allows you to have fun. Nobody says fun in sales, right? I think I'm the only one. You can have so much fun and laugh and just meet new people. It's almost like a networking session. You can find out what their pain or problems are. You can learn to qualify them very quickly, maybe in 3 minutes or less. I give all my students a little 3-minute timer. Because in 3 minutes, you should have a good intuitive feeling whether or not, is this a prospect or a free consultation? What is it you need to get to the bank? I run a very successful business, and I have so many wonderful students with success stories using my gut sales method because they learn the art and science of persuasion. It's so important. You can't just read a script and you can't just say the same old blah 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 that everybody else does. And nobody woke up this morning and said, "Gee, I hope a salesman calls me." No, nobody wants those blind, massive texts and emails and letters and things like that. It's not that they don't work. The reaction rate, the response rate is minuscule. Okay. I'd rather have a couple people to speak to all the time. So when you get the prospect on the phone and you do the la-di-da stuff in the beginning, hey, why are we talking today? What would you like to, how can I help you? What are you looking for? What's your biggest challenge? Have a list of questions. And then if they ask you a question, you learn how to almost hypnotize it. You turn it around on them. Great question. You must have asked that for a reason. Could you share that with me? What is it you're looking for? What's the range? You mind if I take notes while we're talking? These are all the movements of the gut sales method to make that prospect like you. Guess what happens when people like and trust you? You're right. You make more money, you get more close and more sales in one phone call, if I may add. And these are the things I talk about in the gut sales method. Great, untraditional, unorthodox techniques of sales and success. It's a system I invented because I was the former world's worst salesman in the world. I couldn't give away money. Okay. And, but today I love sales. I meet so many wonderful people. I talk to them all the time. And I just look for, to have those conversations with people. And enough people say yes so that I can take care of my responsibilities, my bills, my retirement plan, my kids' college, and live a great life in this country. It's always about learning sales. So learn how to ask questions like Socrates did, and learn how to when someone asks you a question, turn that question around with stroking, nurturing, and empathy. And if you want to learn more about, go to my webpage, claudediamond.com. If you want to do this, a couple role plays, and we can tape them for you. Won't cost you anything, just fun. I love to teach this stuff. Just go to my webpage, claudediamond.com. I got a little calendar on there, and schedule with me for 15 minutes and pick my brain. No commitment or anything, no heavy duty stuff. I just love teaching a system because if it works for me, it'll work for you. And if you want more information on the how to answer a question with a question, just send me a text and I'll send you a mind map or any information on this. As I always say, no one deserves success more than you good people. Have a great weekend. It is Friday. I love who doesn't love Friday, right? Okay. Remember last day of school? Oh gosh. Friday's just my fun day. And what's even more fun is making money on a Friday, getting an appointment, getting a commitment, getting a contract. You guys deserve it. I know how hard you work, but the missing link is always going to be sales. Work on sales. Watch my videos. Read some of my books. If you can't afford them, send me a text. I'll send it to you for free. I think I did. I offered you this is one of my favorite books, The Gut Sales Method Rules, techniques on how to close people, how to keep the conversation, how to stay really confident. You guys are great. I'll see you if you want to join me tonight. I'll be on YouTube again at 7:30 Eastern, and join me and have a beer with Claude.